Padcast in association with TC Cars. TC Cars won Birmingham's Taxis 2019. Book by app or by phone today. Alright, so Padcast in association with TC Cars. This is a UFC 252 recap with Tosh, Coady.
What is good?
With Dave.
What's going on, guys?
Big event, guys.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It was good. It was eventful.
It was.
It
I
was
liked
eventful.
it. There's some good fights, man.
Some good drama as well, weren't
Yeah,
there?
100%.
Before we get into the main event, I've got to give a shout out to the guys for the prelims and the early prelims, especially the early prelims. The two fights from the early prelims, let me just get them up quickly. It was Chris Daukaus versus Parker Porter and Kai Kamaka versus Tony Kelly. Kai Kamaka versus Tony Kelly was a 3-round war, and it was great to see the difference between the cleaner Kamaka with his sharp striking and Tony Kelly trying to find a way on the inside with his knees and elbows. It was just a good stand-up battle. So for these guys to be coming in at the entry level, it's just showing how much of a fantastic time it is to start becoming an MMA fan now, because I was super impressed considering that was the early prelims.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see them on the original lineup because it was the early prelims.
So it was high level, but at the early.
Right at the entry
that's
level,
good.
it was
I think
crazy.
the card changed.
Yeah.
I think the card we looked at didn't we look at a fight and it was I seen the card and I was like, the fight's missing.
Yeah, when I went from the prelims to the main card, one of the fights are missing. It went straight to the John Dodson versus Dvalishvili fight. They missed out the Ankalov versus Ion Kutalaba fight.
Kutalaba, that's it. 'Cause
Kutalaba.
I failed to. Didn't they replace Burns with Pineda on the main card for that one?
I think Burns Pineda was still on the prelims.
Was it?
I feel like they
Was
made
that-
it a 4.
I must apologise. I did miss the
I'm
prelims.
not 100% sure. I feel like they were still on the prelims. Yeah, but
Okay.
Ion Kutalaba tested positive for coronavirus in the morning, and that's why the fight was called off. Or one of them, but I'm pretty sure it was Kutalaba.
Okay.
And I was looking forward to that.
Oh,
I'm not going to lie, because there was a bit of drama around that.
You
Because
showed that in the last podcast, mate.
Yeah.
You was well excited for
I
that,
was.
weren't you?
Yeah, definitely. And
Because it was so controversial as well.
yeah, I would have loved to have seen that play out.
Yeah.
And I think they will just run it back
They've got it though, haven't they?
once they're clear.
Yeah.
For sure. There's
And
a
I think
little
I
bit-
learnt a little bit there as well, didn't I? Like, I learned how to say his name.
Yeah, Kutalaba.
Yeah.
yeah. So, hopefully
What about the John Dodson fight against, say his name?
Dvalishvili.
Dvalishvili.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good fight. It was a good fight. I feel like
I feel like Dodson didn't really get into gear.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he weren't as explosive as he was in his last couple of fights.
I can agree with
if
you.
you can see where I'm coming from with that one.
I feel like Dodson, for some reason, there's something just missing, whether it's his game, his style of how he matches up against people. There's something that's just a little bit lackluster, and that's not me throwing shade at Dodson. Like, I'm a big Dodson fan, especially when he was in 125. Like, I don't think he carries that finishing power up to 135, and I think that was his problem. Dvalishvili is just super intense, man. You could see it through the whole fight.
100%.
Screaming and shouting, and Dodson was matching that intensity, but the hunger from Dvalishvili through the fight, like, you could see it, he was pushing, he mixed it up perfectly, the way he entered with strikes and entered with takedowns, and the way he entered with takedowns,
He looks strong.
yeah, he's
Really strong.
He's a specimen, man. And like, if your fight name's The Machine, like, you know you're a gang. Like, the only other
So has he
person
been
on-
around a while then, Dvalishvili?
I wouldn't say for a long time I've known of Dvalishvili, to be fair, but he's got a reputation already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For being a workhorse.
He's Russian.
What is he? I couldn't even tell you exactly his nationality, but I know he comes out to with the big hat, like Khabib's hat.
Yeah.
But he's
Okay,
got a
so-
black one. He has a black one instead of a white one. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's
It's like
in
because
a
all the
region around Dagestan. Or not. I'm not
Russian
sure.
wrestlers in that,
Yeah, he's definitely.
they absolutely kill it for the wrestling and stuff. They're
Yeah.
super strong as well. It's like
Mate.
it's like every single one of them are just like fed meat from born. You know what I mean?
It is like it's a different culture, and it just shows in the cage. Like, there's no line in the cage. You can talk all the crap you want. When that cage door closes, your hard
it.
work and your determination and your work ethic is shown in its truest form, and with Dvalishvili you saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the way he crashed distance with his takedowns, he had to be hyper aggressive. Dodson likes to jump back and create really big openings for his counters.
There's a lot of distance.
Yeah, he likes to create a lot of distance, and I think Dvalishvili did a great job of just zerging him down with them.
He closed it fast.
Yeah, really
fast.
aggressive.
It was like
he's Georgian.
it was just blinking. He's
Georgian.
Yeah, Georgian.
There we go.
Who's
It's Georgian
sorry?
Dvalishvili.
Yes, it's Georgian.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I feel like it's like almost like an England sign with little crowns
Yeah,
in the
yes,
corners.
it is,
That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
head, but I couldn't tell you the flag. So he's Georgian. There you go. But I think he executed it perfectly. He executed it really well.
Great game plan.
Yeah, and he's shown that like if you're coming to fight him, you better pack a lunch because he's not going anywhere and he's not slowing down. He's a bigger guy. He looks like a big, strong guy who has to have a lesser work rate. That's not the case. It's not the case at all. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
move on to the next
Yeah,
fight.
yeah.
So we got Herbert Burns versus Daniel Pineda.
Didn't that get a bonus?
It was a war.
It
He
could
got
well
a
have, yeah, it was a
bonus.
good fight.
It was, even afterwards, even after the fight, the way he put his, I can't remember who was on top at the end, where he put his head on his chest, put his head on his chest and relaxed, and he just felt like there was both like,
Oh yeah.
thank God that's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Both of them
yeah.
were just like, yeah.
Just exhausted
Yeah, we've
themselves
done that.
completely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a good scrap. Pineda.
I was impressed.
Yeah, and he was showing his veteran chops. He really was. And I've not seen too much of him. I don't know why in my head I've not seen him until I seen him start fighting. I was like, I've seen this guy before.
Yeah.
I've seen this guy before. Apologies, guys. I haven't done too much research for this one, but it's nice to go in cold. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Give
that's
your
the
honest
best
opinion.
way.
100%.
But he had Burns in a mounted crucifix at one point, and like that's a really bad position. That's as bad as it gets. Like, you know, I'd rather somebody have my back than have me in a mounted crucifix because it's awful. You throw them short elbows. It doesn't take much to finish that fight. Do you know
That's what I was
I
going to say, you know, when you say going in cold.
Oh yeah, and he did.
So,
There you go.
Yeah, so you know when you're talking about going in cold,
Mm.
you know when you watch a fighter who you know or you like,
Mm.
do you think sometimes you're a bit biased? So when you're watching it, like I feel like when I've looked back at fights like a few weeks later or a few months later, I'm like, I had him having that round or something like
Yeah.
that. And really, he shouldn't have any. And I think so now I'm really trying to just, you know, be as unbiased as possible.
Yeah,
But, do you
and
know?
yeah,
Try and be
100%.
as neutral as you can.
Yeah, but you
That's what I do.
do subconsciously you are biased, especially if you like the person, if you like their style or you like them as a person. I think as a person even more so because you don't want them to lose. And it's like with the JDS fight that we're going to be getting onto in a second. Oh, perfect segue. Hello. But, the JDS Rosenstrike fight. He's such a good person that you're almost finding ways for him to get ahead in your mind without you realising. So yeah, I think it does play a part, but then it comes back to being as objective as you can and understanding that they're both fighting for the same thing. Do you know what I mean? You can't just pick one over the other. It's not fair.
I think that's what you get nowadays, and you just get like die-hard like one fighter fans, and you think they can't do no
They're
wrong.
coming on the
because-
waves. They really do, and it's sorry, mate.
No, it's cool. Like,
Yeah, they come in on the waves, and it's one of those things. It's like when a fighter's so captivating when you see them, and like people really gravitate towards them. It's hard not to be biased. Like when McGregor came in, all of the people that were saying what was going to happen to Khabib, and I was like, I've been watching for a while. Like I remember watching Conor on the Cage Warrior circuit when he was fought Ivan Bashinga, like back in the day before he came. Like I understood his skill set, and he's a fantastic striker. But when I thought of like bad matchups, I thought Khabib is an absolutely awful matchup for him.
Yeah.
And then I have people who come in on the McGregor wave who, like, you know, understandably bring in eyes to the sport, and they're talking smack about these fighters that they haven't watched or done any research on, and it's like it's hard. Masvidal's brought in a wave as well. Do you know what I mean?
I was thinking that about
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
The thing is with like Khabib, people, like, again, I think we spoke about it before, but people see it as a boring thing that he wrestles. I mean, when I first jumped into UFC and I was watching, I'll be honest with you, I was seeing things on the ground. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I can't be bothered because I'm used to boxing, striking, you know. So, and then I think it was like Eddie Bravo, innit? I watched that main fight against, which Gracie was it?
Oh my god, as if I can't remember.
But it was a big fight anyway,
It's
and
not Roger Gracie.
and it was like literally, it was the first time I watched it on my own. I was sitting on my phone and I was just like, I watched it and I was proper captivated. And then obviously Joe Rogan speaking about it all the time has obviously got me into it as well.
Yeah.
And now I just see, like, I see what they're doing, and I try and explain it to people who don't know. I'm like, just see it as like a bit of chess, but with your strength, and you're holding on to each other. So if I'm in that position and he's in that position, he's going to try and get into that or that, and I've got to use that or that to get out. So you've got to pick your parts wisely. But
you do.
But once you see that and you start seeing it on the ground, you start realising that it's a good thing. Like
that's the thing that got me into UFC.
Yeah.
That actually, not the fact that a fat guy was beating up a skinny guy. It was the fact that they could go to the ground and literally do what they wanted to. Yeah. And street fights end up like that, don't they?
Yeah.
Let's face it. They end up on the ground.
They're
They end
not
up.
as clean
They're not.
You see on
No one boxes.
World
No one goes. Let's have a boxing match. You know, it's a fight. It's a swing out. You land on the floor. You start doing what you need. But that's what got me into UFC. Like, I used to have I rent the DVD. Well, my dad got me into UFC.
Yeah.
But that's what started.
I remember there was a guy at the gym, the community centre where we used to live, like, and he was into UFC, and I remember like just being a school kid thinking, why is he watching and stuff like that, like not really being into it. And then now, like, we're sitting here, like, imagine got into it then, it would have been a mad one, wouldn't it?
It's crazy how much it's grown. And going back to what you're saying about people not valuing the ground game, it's weird because your natural instinct when you fight is to throw hammers, to throw punches. Like, no matter how you think about it, these are your first weapons. This is your first. You start standing up most of the time. You start standing up unless you're like you're on a bus.
Just hug them straight away.
But like, you start standing up, and that's your instinct. So I think that because that comes naturally to us, that's what we want to see, and that's what we categorise as fighting. So when you see a stand-up brawl, in your head you're like, this is an amazing fight. When you go to the floor, the more educated you get, the more you can appreciate it, and especially if you start training it.
Even Conor McGregor says, let's have a real knock.
Yeah.
Like, he was even saying it to McGregor, let's have a real knock. Like, and that's what he means. Like, let's have a brawl, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, mate.
That's fine, mate. That's fine. Yeah. Like, once you do a couple of sessions of jiu-jitsu or wrestling, more to the point, you do an hour and 45-minute session of wrestling, and you'll really quickly get an appreciation of what these guys are doing. Yeah, you'll get an appreciation very quickly,
and you'll be sick.
So, yeah.
That's why it annoys me when Usman gets all the stick, like, because I just feel like he does that. He grinds and then
he grinds them down, like he says. He says what he's going to do as well. He says, I'm going to make it look their longest night.
He's getting them to play his game, and
there you go.
Yeah, and if you can't get out of that or figure out a way to trump it, then that's on you. That's not on him. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he's there for W's and that's what he wants to be the best, that's what he's doing. He's proving that he's the best.
Well, while we're here, let's give the casuals some juice.
Some food, some sprinkles.
Get some sprinkles.
Have it.
So, like, Usman saying, nah, I'll batter Conor McGregor. He couldn't come up to this weight. I'm the king of this weight. He's a little man to me. What do you think how would that go?
I think he'd do exactly what he did to Masvidal.
Yeah. The same sort of.
Yeah, even with a full camp, I don't think.
Because didn't he fight?
I'm not
Yeah.
throwing shade on Conor. I think Conor is one of the best fighters, strikers to ever come out of UFC, and personalities, in my opinion. Let's face it.
Of course, yeah.
Apart from Chael Sonnen, big him up. Going.
Go on. Go on.
Yeah, you go and watch that podcast, guys. Obviously, we're fans. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Bad going.
Yeah, I mean,
Sonnen's the man.
You got to keep pushing all of these podcasts as well.
Yeah.
You know, what other podcasts? Yeah, while we're here, you know, what other podcasts we watch? Watch Ariel Hawani's and Daniel Cormier's.
Yeah. Obviously, old JRE.
JRE.
Bit of Dan Hardy. Big up Dan Hardy.
Inside the octagon.
Yeah, Bisping.
Yeah, Bisping was one's good.
Yeah, like
Believe You Me, innit?
Believe You Me, yeah.
And
I used to watch this one called MMA
Fighter and the Kid.
Great.
I love Fighter and the Kid.
Fighter and the Kid's pretty good, yeah.
So that's just.
What was it saying? Oh,
but yeah, sorry. I just think. I just think. He, like I say, I'm not throwing shade on him. He's one of the greatest strikers I've ever witnessed. But
he's a great striker.
I just don't think he handles wrestlers well.
I think
his takedown defense is really good.
Yeah.
I think he's got.
Well, I think you would have to be good at that. You need to get good at that, don't you?
Yeah.
I think he's got absolutely zero business at 170. None at all. Zilch. Nil par.
Yeah, nil par.
No, he doesn't need to. His frame at 155 is spectacular. His frame at 155 is perfect. When he goes up to fight at 170, he's still in good shape and he still looks quite lean. But you can tell he's a 155er who hasn't had to do the weight cut. The same as when Nate went up to 170. The same as when Cerrone. Even Cerrone grew into his frame quite a bit, but Cerrone could make that 155. RDA is the same. He's a 155er. You could argue they're tweeners, Cerrone and RDA, that they're in between. But Conor McGregor, he has no business fighting the top echelon of people in the 170 division. Yeah. I think he'll do much worse than Masvidal. I think people don't give Masvidal the credit he deserves for the Usman fight, even though he didn't win. I think he did great.
For 6 days? No, 6 days
for 6 days notice. But like you said, I think that he would have been more prepared, but not a massive amount, because he's the kind of guy that will stay prepared, for sure. And the same with McGregor. People don't give McGregor the credit he deserves on the ground against Khabib. Like he showed great defensive grappling to hold off as long as he did, being known primarily as just a straight up striker. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of guys who would have wilted much faster against Khabib. So yeah, but to answer the question, I don't think he belongs in 170. I think he's a great 155.
It was a nice little
oh yeah, little
sprinkle for the kids.
We went down there.
Alright, and so we move on to the next one. Rosenstrike versus your beloved Junior Dos Santos.
And here's what I'm saying, guys.
I felt so sorry for Junior Dos Santos. I don't know why
he fed to the wall.
He's a fighter, but it was a massacre.
Yeah.
It's weird because even though he lost, I wasn't super impressed with Rosenstrike's performance. I wasn't.
He didn't look as clean.
No.
It seems to me, like, you know, from my point of view, I feel like he seems, you know, that it could have been, you know, down to the Ngannou loss or something like that, but I feel like, you remember when Ngannou lost on the knockout before, and he seemed a bit timid. Yeah, and I feel like he didn't want to, like, commit. And I think that's sometimes after a knockout, I think that's what they get. Don't know, they get like, you know, once
they get shy.
Well, yeah. And once they have that win, they
get back on the floor.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's that partially, and I think he understood and respected JDS, and he knew that even though JDS could be considered over the hill, I think his best is slightly behind him. I'm not saying he's down and out. He's still at the top of the heap, but he had respect for the hands of JDS, and if that overhand right gets you, like, you're not getting back up. Like, he's gonna fold you up. Yeah, you won't take many of those.
He's a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah, but with that being said, I wasn't a fan of the lead leg inside kick that Rosenstrike kept firing, particularly without a setup in front of it. It was just an inside kick, and like, if I'm looking to shut down an overhand right, I don't know, I would use something different. I would use the left leg high kick to shut down the right hand.
Are you teaching people how to fight? Yeah, Tosh.
No, I don't know.
I think Tosh is at well. I think this is a good plug for his business, Coady Combat, isn't it?
No, it's not a good plug.
I think it is. Happy days.
Once my training got me.
Yeah, that's it. So you want any PT guys?
Oh, he was telling us £2.50. You know, I don't know if £2.50 is.
That's it, man.
But yeah, if I'm looking to avoid a right hand, I'm not throwing naked low kicks. That's the quickest way to get blasted. If someone's throwing low kicks at me and I haven't got the time to check, the first thing I'm doing is I'm throwing a straight down the pipe to let them know, you can't throw that and get away with it. It's not happening. And I just felt like he was putting himself, for his skill set to have 85 fights in professional kickboxing, I felt like he could have done just a little bit more to deal with that strike, which is that like JDS's main weapon, which he has.
And something he has dealt with before.
Yeah. And if he's watching any footage on JDS, he knows that's his. I was going to say kryptonite.
Bread and butter.
Bread and butter. There you go. Pad's got it going on.
There we go.
Got it going on, innit?
So I felt. So what does this mean for JDS then?
I don't know where it puts him. I really don't. I feel like he's in a little bit.
I think there's no point, and that's not saying too harsh.
What about the idea of him being like a gatekeeper sort of thing?
He could definitely hold up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
if he wants to fight every fight night, and you know when he.
No, but let's just say, you know, you've got young lads coming up, you know what I mean, when they're on there, so you can just, you know, that's the proper test, isn't it? Having someone like that, that's sort of like in boxing, you have like your Derek Chisora over here, don't you? Like, if you can beat him, you've kind of really passed the fire test.
Into that top platform. I know exactly.
Without being at the top, but they know you're of that ilk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. I could agree with you on that. I think that he's not out. I don't know why. I don't know if it's his spirit, his optimism. He's still got that love. You can see in his training camp and the way he talks. He's still got that love and passion for it. He's not down and out.
Do you think a fighter should stay in if he's not aiming to be the champion? Then?
I think that depends on what they're looking for to get out of it. Some
depends
people,
on his hunger.
Yeah. Some people don't want to be in it unless they are the best. Do you know what I mean? There's some people who are obsessed with it. Like, if I can't be the best, there's no point in me taking part. And then there's other people who just love to fight. If you get Diego Sanchez and you throw him some gloves, he's ready to throw down. If you get Donald Cerrone,
is this Diego Sanchez the one who's he's been in it quite since early, he's still in it recently? Has he just had his last fight recently?
Yeah, he did have a fight.
Diego Sanchez. He's he's from the first Contender Series.
Who did he?
First tough.
Who did he just lose to?
Who did he fight?
There was something, and I do remember because we'll have a look.
Let's have a quick look.
And because I do remember there was something to do with he nearly he got injured, but it could have been an eye poke or it could have been something like that. And it almost like I was thinking, oh no, he could get the easy win now if he just says I can't.
He took it out and he just carried on.
He's
a warrior. He's a true warrior, and he's the kind of person that even if he's not going to get the gold, like, that's who he is. It's kind of weird because once he can't do that anymore, like, is he going to be left in a weird limbo? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be in a limbo. He's going to have nothing left.
Who did he have that absolute brawl with?
Michael Pereira.
Mendez. Gilbert. Was it Gilbert?
Oh no, I was right.
Was it Gilbert?
I was actually right. It was actually it was
my god!
Yeah,
when I saw this,
did you know what? I knew there was something that stuck out to me at the time.
I knew it was that Michel Pereira. Yeah, when I saw that matchup, I was terrified for him. Yeah, and that's kind of similar to how I felt with JDS and Rosenstrike. I was like, oh, why are they gonna do him like that? Why are they gonna do our boy like that? So he's on a 3-fight skid. The thing is, he's not down and out. He's still ranked. He's still a ranked heavyweight. Do you know what I mean? So he's still legitimate. And like you're saying, against those up and coming guys, that he's a legitimate test. He's got a very good skill set. He's not going to crumble under the pressure. He's going to bring it. But will the fact that he might never get to see that gold affect how if he wants to stay or not?
Yeah.
But like seeing him after the knockout, him sitting there in the cage with Rosenstrike, arms around each other, he was still okay in himself. He wasn't devastated. He wasn't in tears. You know.
Yeah. Like, has he? What is his record anyway? Let's have a look.
He's been in it for
I think this year. So
he's 21-8.
Yeah. So he's had a fair few losses. You know. So he can.
Yeah. But look, guys like Overeem, I can't remember how many knockout losses he's got, but he's got loads, and he's still doing the damn thing, and he's still got that.
A good striker as well.
He's got that level of striking. Like,
well, would you say he's like a sort of gatekeeper as well? Or would you say he could be a champion again?
He's more or less there. I don't think he can be champion again.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be hard because the new blood's coming in.
Yeah.
And the top of that division's thickening up lately. Yeah. There's a couple of guys up there that are just really good. Like, look at Stipe versus DC. Like.
Yeah, but that's one gone. Well, we'll move on to that. Anyway.
Oh yeah, we'll do that in a second. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So should we move on up? Should we step on up to the drama of the night?
The drama. I don't think we should talk about this one. If I'm honest.
No. I think we should talk about it. I think we should talk about who Dave had in that fight. So Dave had Sean O'Malley for that one.
I don't think I said it on the video.
And Tosh had Marlon Vera. Never went how any of us thought it would go. I couldn't make a prediction because I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
So again, I'll start.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was only a short fight. Sort of like, remember it was on how I mentioned with the Daniel Cormier Stipe fight in the first one. It was just literally rapid.
Unexpected.
But so he's kicked him in his knee. He stepped back. Got a little wobble. He can't stand on his ankle now. He's wrecked his, I don't know, is it a certain cartilage or a tendon or something like that, or something like that, which is attached to your knee from your foot.
And some people who get...
Which has caused that.
Yeah, could be.
Meaning, then he jumped on him and beat him up. Now, like in all these groups that I'm in, there's a lot of saying he only won because of the injury, but didn't he cause the injury and that's why you would kick in the knee? Isn't that the whole point of him kicking in the knee? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish I'd watched it back a few more times in slow mo, but I watched it live, so I couldn't really go back and.
Do you want me to just get it up on here for you?
If you want, but I'll give my opinion what I think right now. like there's two schools of thought. There's Chito Vera went in, damaged him, and steamrolled him, and then there's he injured himself. If you guys remember his fight with Sukumtat, he injured his leg. I'm not sure if it was the same leg or a different leg, if I'm going to be completely honest. But he fought through that. Did he get the finish? I think he got the decision win. Yeah, he did, because he was undefeated. So he must have got the decision win.
Yeah.
But he'd injured his leg before. Now, when you're kicking people, especially with calf kicks, you can hit a nerve in your foot, and your foot dies. So when you go to step, your toes and the ball of your foot and how you flex by the ankle, that doesn't go how it's meant to go. Yeah. And if you land in a funny way, you can roll your heels. We've seen that in the.
Didn't it happen to him before anyway? I think weren't there a fight where, I mean, I could be wrong. It could be
where he was hopping.
But wasn't the one where he was on the ground, and if the guy had have walked away, Sean O'Malley would have already lost, didn't he?
Yeah. That's the super top one. He should have. Yeah.
So
he took him down. He tried to take him down, where he should have stood up and struck with the one-legged fighter, and he would have had a massive advantage there. But he didn't. He tried to take him down, and he lost the decision. But I can't remember the exact fight, but it was a Henry Cejudo fight. I can't remember if it was Mighty Mouse. I feel like it was a Mighty Mouse fight. Early in the second Mighty Mouse fight, he got hit in the leg and he rolled his ankle, and he had to recover that. I feel like the Sean O'Malley, when I seen a replay, it was the same, but rather than rolling his ankle to the side, he rolled it over to the front, and I think that might have.
But it was after the knee kick, though.
Do you think it was the knee kick?
Yeah,
or do you
that's what I'm saying.
But what I mean is, I understand what you mean. The precursor was from the damage, wasn't it?
So I think he's hit the knee, and then when he stepped back, that's when he's put his pressure on you, and that's when it's done it. But I feel like the damage.
The damage
depends where the damage was caused.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah, there's the roll. Yeah, there's that roll on the replay. So it's a matter of Marlon caused the damage.
He can't lift his foot up, and
immobilised his foot to cause Sean O'Malley to do the damage. But it's like, which school of thought are you from? Are you from Marlon Vera completely did all the damage there, or if Sean O'Malley didn't roll, then it's a different ball game. So it's hard to weigh up.
I'd take it, man. But I think you're in a fight. It's not like
I think he got.
Yeah, do you know? Like I wouldn't. I don't. I feel like not enough people are giving him credit. I've watched some groups there, and all I've seen is like, oh no, he didn't do it. But yeah, look, you've seen it there. Look, and as soon as he done that,
let's see. Sorry, guys.
I mean, we would love it to play this, but we wouldn't get it. We'd get our
taken down.
Yeah. So like as he moves in, we'll see now.
Oh yeah, that's a whopper of a low kick. Yeah. That is, You really sent that.
So and then that's straight after. So like imagine if I'm not saying exactly, I know exactly what happened, but imagine that has knocked it out. He stepped on it straight after.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
And he set it up. He caused the damage that cascaded the injury. I can completely get with that.
So he should get credit though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he has though. I think that's what's going on.
They're discrediting him. I think anyone who's a big Sean O'Malley fan will try to discredit him. But if I'm
like
be honest,
he ain't got as many fans, has he?
No.
You know what I mean? So I know you still believe Maxwell, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
But it's harder for Volkanovski. He would, if it was the shoe was on the other foot, there wouldn't be so much of an uproar, would there?
Yeah. No, because he's a massive fan favourite. He's a massive fan favourite, Holloway's. I think.
So like?
I was rooting for Vera on that one, but I don't know why. In my head, I felt like maybe it's just it wasn't the win that I was expecting. It didn't go the way I wanted it to.
You wanted a cleaner win for
him. A cleaner win, so it was more just. But like you're saying, he gave the strike that caused it. So like it was all down to him for that victory. So maybe in my head, I'm discrediting him a little bit, and I thought it was a bit distasteful how he was acting after the fight. Sean O'Malley wreathing around in pain on the floor. After your 5 seconds, you let out, you roar, you battle roar. You've done what you need to do. Go over and pay your dues, man. Like, just go over and pay your dues. Like he's done that before.
So you think was there any? I was going to say, would you?
Even Conor, the most disrespectful things Conor McGregor's done. He's always been humble after a fight. I think. Yeah. Except for Khabib, obviously, where he got beat up a little bit.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's it's just a tricky one. It's a crazy one, and I think a lot of people will discredit.
Do you think it's like the stuff that Sean O'Malley was saying though, the fact that everyone was overlooking him, the fact that he was the underdog, you know? And
yeah. Oh, this is very similar to the fight that happened earlier in the year. Yeah, earlier in the year, it was Corey Anderson versus Johnny Walker. Now, Johnny Walker was an absolute hype train. And when he came...
Is this one with a little bit...
Yeah. I think with the right setup, he could be champion. Like, I think he's the guy to beat Bones.
Yeah, he's
with more years. I really do.
He's the one with the crazy style. He does mad things.
Yeah. And that unpredictability is required to take out a guy like Jones. The same with Khabib. You need that unpredictable style to take out these guys who are just so... regimented in their fundamentals. You have to have that unpredictability.
So dominant.
Yeah.
With their game plans.
Yeah, but the roar that Corey Anderson let off when he knocked him out, you know, he could feel that because he was getting counted out, and I feel like I wasn't online to see all of that, but I think that's what Cheeto felt like as well. Cheeto Vera felt like everyone counted him out because the Sean O'Malley hype train had arrived and he was a nobody. Mm-hmm. But Cheeto Vera's a gangster, man. He's a gangster.
I think they should have a rematch on that.
Yeah,
obviously. When Sean O'Malley's, but I think. It depends how far Marlon Vera goes after this. How long?
I think they could definitely do it down the line because I feel like both of these guys are gonna insert themselves into the top of the pile with regards to the 135 division. I think that in a year or two they're both going to be even less than that.
Marlon Vera's took that. Does he take that spot now? Was it 14?
Yeah, so he'll be ranked 14. Yeah, I'm guessing he'll take Sean O'Malley's spot. But it's a crazy one for sure. It is.
And then you still got Garbrandt. You still got Dillashaw to come back.
Cruz. There's so many of them. Aljo, Corey Sandhagen. Like there's so many that I forget every time just because there's so many of them. They're everywhere. Hafala Sunsao, like they're just
stacked division.
Just
so
unbelievable.
stacked.
If I was to recommend a division for somebody to watch as a new fight fan, I'd pick 135, if not 155. They're both great, and 145.
But the thing is, you don't have to. You don't have to.
You can just watch them all.
Watch them all. That's it.
That's what you do.
Best way, and you know what? And if you most casuals, you know, watch the main card.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, you know, like if you get into it, start watching the main card, you watch an extra fight next time, watch an extra fight next time, you know.
Get deeper down
start watching a few podcasts or listen somewhere you're at the gym, or, you know, if you do that, then you'll start getting into it, you start getting a bit more familiar with it, and you start enjoying it, and it's a good group of people, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Like, you never find more humble people than in a gym. I don't mean in like a training gym, I mean like a, you know, boxing gym, a fighting gym, you know.
I think it's very deceiving.
Yeah, I think
you think that it's going to be. Well, you obviously are intimidated because when you first go in, you're surrounded by people who can fight.
I remember recently I went into a gym and there's some big lads. Like, I mean, you know, going on to big things. Like, and it was real big, tall. I was like, Jesus, these are massive. Come straight up, show respect, and they just saying like, you know, it's lovely, man. And I think that's what we could. That's why it should be more out there for the kids. That's why there should be more of these gyms. That's why there should be these gyms on every estate having all. But and then you got the other side of it. People like kids are fighting and stuff like that. But you don't. Let's do some jiu-jitsu. Don't have to strike.
Yeah.
You
know what I mean,
a lot of all that's superficial. It's showing. It's posturing. It's It's feeding from insecurities. Do you know what I mean? And once you've trained for a while and you understand it, you can take care of yourself. There's no need to act like that. You can just be yourself and be confident in who you are. You don't have to put anything onto anybody else to prove yourself. You really don't. So I think it's fundamental, especially to young people, especially young boys.
Yeah.
And
once they know, that's the type of thing once they know they can do it, they realise they're not scared of that, and they don't do it.
Yes, they don't have to. And this is the thing: people think that it's just for children that are bullied, but it's for bullies as well. I really think that. Once they understand what damage they can cause, and they're insecure on the inside as well.
A lot of bullies aren't the strongest. The bully's not the strongest.
The
bully's not the strongest person. He's probably the weakest.
You need that strong person to stand up to them.
That's it.
And building that security within themselves, they don't have to prove it by pushing their insecurities onto other people. So I think it's great all around, and that's something I'm looking to do down the line, whether it's profit or non-profit. Like down the line, that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to set up a school in my community.
That's the best one.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, nice.
We'll see how that goes.
Coady Combat guys, he will be setting that up. Don't worry.
Keep your eyes out.
But while we're here now, we're going to go on to the main card.
The big
main event.
I cannot lie.
Heavyweight division.
Yeah. I was so tired. I was throwing water on my face. I'm pacing backwards and forwards in between rounds to stay awake.
I got up for work.
My body was shutting down on me.
I got up for work. Obviously, guys, I had to go to work in the morning. And I texted you, didn't I? I was like, how the main event was coming on. I was watching it in work and I was like, are you awake, mate? You ready for this? I didn't think he'd reply. I thought, I ain't going to reply. 1 tick. Of course I am. 2 ticks.
I'm an old nut.
Blue ticks. Yeah. I was like, yes.
I'm an old nut.
But yeah.
What a fight. What a fight. It was actually a really good scrap.
It was a good fight. Never seen you could say stop.
Well, we didn't see any wrestling shoes, did we?
We didn't. I was going to say, I didn't really see anything technical or anything like that. You might have said there was a bit of hand grappling and stuff like that, but it was literally, it was a fight, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was an actual fight.
Yeah.
Fight.
Yeah. I'm curious to know, deep down, whether DC felt like he could take Stipe down, because he did shoot for the one takedown.
You see that?
And he got him down with that single leg. He got him down.
But then he abandoned that. So I'm trying to figure out, is it that he didn't have the energy to push for those takedowns continuously? Because it takes a lot of energy to take.
There was one where he tried to lift him. He tried to lift him to the side, and then it seemed like he pulled out, and he was just like, no.
Yeah. So he's like, is he weighing up whether it's not worth the energy invested to potentially not get the takedown?
Is he gonna switch it up on me?
Yeah, you never know. Stipe's great, man. He really is great. I think he did deserve his win. Can we just take a minute for the eye poke, guys?
We
Take a minute for the eye poke.
What would we be talking about now if the eye poke that DC done earlier in the fight, what the fight got stopped for, what would we be talking about now if they both had the same injury, or would the fight have carried on if he had that injury?
I think so, because Goddard didn't even clock it straight away. He was like, it was a punch, and you could see by the way DC was moving, it was like, that doesn't look like a punch. DC's took a lot of punches, like the way he was moving is like, he's really hurt, and you see the slow-mo, and it rolls up on the finger. He's like putting a ring on. It was bad. I really hope his eye's okay, because you could see straight away, like coming into the.
He said he couldn't see.
Imagine that on your last fight.
Yeah.
The last fight you get blinded.
That's what Tricks talk about today as well. He was saying to speak to you guys about asking if, do you guys think that was worth the risk? He was saying like he's already got money, he's already doing well outside of the ring. He was saying, and now he's saying now he's blind, and so this is like a question from Tricks. Do you think it was like something worth doing?
I think when you're speaking to guys who are at the top of the heap in a competitive sport like that, taking risks is what they do every day.
Yeah. I think he sees it as a battle scar.
Yeah,
like a bit of a battle scar. Like, I did this on my last.
As long as it's okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed it is okay, because you never know. We could find out in 2 days that he loses his eye, and that would be absolutely awful. Do you know what I mean? But I think he knows the risks he's got to take.
Didn't that happen to Bisping?
Yeah, right. Bisping's got.
Was it the same way? How did his happen to you guys now?
I think. Was it the knockout? Was it the Vitor Belfort?
There was a certain guy.
Did he get like a head kick or something?
Yeah,
like
Vitor Belfort. Yeah, hit him with a wheel kick of death. Oliver TRT. Jesus
absolute hell.
Christ almighty. Oh my lord.
But yeah, I'm sure he did got eye damage.
So you're telling me?
But Michael Bisping said when he's
done. Michael Bisping fought Vitor Belfort.
Yeah, while he was on TRT.
But wasn't Belfort at heavyweight?
Middleweight.
He
did fight at heavyweight when he was younger, and then he comes.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, he won his first title at heavyweight.
Absolute beast.
Yeah,
he's one of the scariest individuals ever.
Even now,
ever.
Like I said on the last one,
he's out of the UFC.
I'd put TRT Vitor against anyone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary. Terrifying. But yeah, he fought the last of his career with one eye. It's just a crazy thought. Like he
beat Luke Rockhold. Who he's calling out Weidman, by the way.
I thought, didn't he say the other day?
The two American All-Americans.
Yeah, but didn't I'm sure one of them, I don't know which way round it is, so if you're saying he called him out, then I think
Rockhold called Weidman.
Then Weidman saying you need to go and do something before you fight me or something like that.
I think he's been out of the game for a little while.
Didn't he get off? Didn't he come off a few losses?
Yeah, knockout losses.
Yeah, really bad knockout losses.
Jan's a monster.
There you go. And
a monster.
who else knocked? Romero knocked him out with an absolute corker.
And then Bisping as well. I think it's a problem with his guard and his chin, but
it reminds me of like Superman sort of thing, like that cheesy chisel.
Like Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America. So,
he's got a physique that's been handed down from the gods. He's in the Yoel's club, man.
Yeah,
he's in Yoel's club with Ngannou and those guys.
Absolute specimens. Yeah, Costa.
Yeah. Costa's in their club. Jesus Christ, Costa's in that club.
So what was I going to say? So where does this leave Cormier now then? So he's.
I think
retired.
He's done now.
No, he's retired. So do you think he's gonna go on to do you think he'll
work for ESPN, do commentary, do all that, if that's what you're on about?
Yeah. I think he's the kind of guy who's got so many things going on outside of his fighting career that he could transition away without much of a problem. So do you
think there's no ever comeback for him?
Nah.
Do you reckon there could be that one?
I'll never say never, but
like I said, money talks.
It does. If they offer him a Brock fight next year,
because that's what I was just going to ask. Because
that
never say never.
Like, God damn.
Sorry,
mate.
It's never say never. Like GSP, like he's how many times he retires, and you think
it's always in him. That dog's always in him. That fighter's there, and if they see something, an opportunity, they feel that they could.
And the wrestler can always sort of come back, isn't it? Because you think of wrestler, it's more.
Yeah, if you haven't got too many miles on the clock, if you haven't damaged and beaten down your body too much, if your faculties are there and your reflexes are still there, you can still get in there and handle the best of them. So it's just a matter of weighing up that on top of the fact that has he got anything else? But I think he's got loads of other stuff. He's got his kids. He's a wrestling coach. He's a commentator. He's got a great family and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like everything is put together so well outside of his career as a fighter that there's no need, in my opinion, for him to step in there. There's some other fighters who have nothing else.
Do you think this I think with his eye, this is like kind of, if there was any way he would have done that comeback, he's like
it's a bit of an eye opener, isn't it?
Shots fired. It's a bit early. Is it past the watershed yet, guys? Well, yes, and then so we got Stipe. So this is Stipe now. Where's he go next? Because you got
Ngannou. Dana said in the post-fight press conference. There's no other way. He's lost and he's come back. He's got wins.
Yeah.
It's Ngannou. Stipe Ngannou.
He's the man. Stipe's the freaking man. I was saying this from the
baddest man on the planet, innit?
Yeah. From the get-go when he was fighting.
Yeah.
And I think he was right when he said DC won the lottery that night. He won the lottery.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
As good as a fighter DC is, and I love him at heavyweight, but
I still believe he was like he was winning the second fight, and I thought
he was,
until them hooks,
until he found out,
hook.
It's crazy. But
sorry, Tosh, can you pass me more drink, please?
Yeah, not a problem, mate.
Dang.
I think it's funny. It's mad to see like the tendencies that happened in the first fight and the second fight both come out. Like a lot of level changes from Stipe, going up and down to the head to the body, constantly changing with his strikes.
Cormier always said that he was doing double underhooks, where he said when I fought him the first two times, he never done it at all. He was doing overs and I was going under and overs, and he said I knew I could control that. Yeah. He said, but he kept doing doubles. Do you know what he's talking about there?
Yeah, double unders is a dominant position of control for wrestlers. It's a great safe place to start from, and you can set up a lot of takedowns from there. I think Stipe was using it to prevent DC from having the double unders as opposed to utilising his. It was more of a prevention. You see, if he's got double unders on on DC, then DC has double overs, which means that he can't utilise his double unders, which are like a pair of gold swords, because he's an Olympic gold medalist. So it's a preventative thing, and I think him doing that was just stopping him and denying that takedown, so he could then press the action and do it. He did it in a calculated way as well, out in the open. He mixed it up head to body, didn't overcommit. He was, when he broke from the clinch positions, which were few and far between, he was trying to get out really fast, and he shows how fast DC's hands are, because he still clipped him with the hooks on the way out that he knew he got stopped with in the first fight. Him. Yeah, and he wobbled him. Like, it was a great fight. I can't wait to watch it again while I'm actually fully conscious.
Yeah. Because you'll see things and pick up things that you never saw live.
I was doing the Churchill.
Yeah. Let us know.
In the back nod straight after. God.
Let us know in the comment sections, guys, if you would want us to sit here and we could, rewatch the fights back while we're on the podcast.
Do a goggle box test. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be
Please
cool.
don't sue us. We
have
no money.
A cheeky little fight.
But yeah, we won't view. We won't have it on. What we can do, sort of like a Joe Rogan sort of thing, where we tell you, we're putting this on, we're pressing play now. We can watch, line it up at the same time, and then we could even get some of our friends to say, look, put it out there. Could I do it? Yeah.
That could be cool.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
For that, yeah.
Thanks, Joe, for that. We'll take that idea.
Yeah, just put it out into the universe. We got to pick it up.
Well, do you know what though? That's fun watching his podcast. He tells everyone to do a podcast, and he tells everyone to start one. He gets people on who we enjoy watching. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So
I think it's a good outlet, especially if you enjoy what you're talking about. If you enjoy it, it's a good outlet.
I don't see why we can't. So guys, if you want to, come on here, you only have to give us a message. You only have to. Leave a comment, let us know that you want to come on, let us know, or if you got any questions you want to be asked, you can send them in. That's what we do, guys. We're all over the place. We're on Twitter, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. So you know what I mean, we're constantly doing it all. That's it, Padcast Live, that is what it is.
Taking over the world, isn't it, Pad?
Well, we've got to do it, haven't we?
We've got to start somewhere, haven't we, guys?
But I'm loving it, man.
I'm just enjoying chilling out and talking about fights.
That's it.
I like
we
it.
got any we got any big fights coming up that now coming off the back of this?
I want Adesanya to fight John Jones if he wins Pablo Costa.
If Adesanya beats Costa. No, I can't say that. I was thinking he takes middleweight status from Adesanya. I mean, from Silva, but Silva's tail was unbelievable. But
was that HGH Silva? Was that HGH Silva?
I don't think.
Because this is what I seen earlier. There was someone was saying he's a goat, and I'm like, I only know I weren't a fan at the time, so I can pick these things out and see he was on stuff, he was on stuff, but the fans are like, no, he was amazing, so I'm just...
It's hard because back in those days when they were doing their thing, the guys he was fighting could have been on the same stuff, do you know what I mean? So you can't really penalise one person and take it away when the person you're fighting could have been on the same stuff, and I'm not saying they were or weren't, but...
Do you reckon anyone who's been busted from when USADA started, they should their record is tarnished? So from that day forward, if you've done it, because obviously I'm just saying it like that because there's going to be a few people who have been caught who you're going to be putting in there now.
One in particular was Chris Cyborg.
Yeah.
From Invicta and coming into the UFC, her reputation was tarnished massively. I think maybe because she was a woman on PEDs, but they shot all over her for a long time. Yeah, they gave her a lot of stick and disregarded her skill set. She got a great skill set. I'd love to see an Amanda Nunes Cyborg second fight. I'm not gonna lie, but
what happened with her then? All I know from her,
she got beat up by Amanda Nunes, didn't she?
Yeah, she got overzealous. She caught a shot and she tried to fight fire with fire, but Amanda Nunes was just too accurate. Her overhand right is like a homing missile. Yeah. It goes out and it just hit on the chin over and over again. I was like, how are you throwing an overhand right with that much accuracy? But yeah, just tore her up. And that's Amanda Nunes' game. She's like a female Rumble Johnson.
Yeah, she's the lioness.
Yeah, she's great. Like that first round, you've got to mind your P's and Q's around her because she's
the greatest.
She's the greatest.
She's the greatest that there's been.
For women?
Yeah. Well, about...
That's what
I was going to say, wasn't there Shevchenko?
But I like...
Exactly what I was about to say.
My favourite. Shevchenko, the bullet.
Is the weights too far away from each other for that fight to be likely, or...
Well, she fought at 135.
They've already fought each other.
Yeah. And she fought to quite close decisions both times. Nunes got both of the decisions.
Yeah. Oh, so but you're taking either or, like you...
Yeah. Now, Shevchenko could be a lot more polished through all we know. It could be a better fight.
I think that Amanda Nunes has probably got a chance to come along a bit more than Shevchenko has, just because Shevchenko, she's pitch perfect. She's
on point.
So why didn't she win then?
I think she was outsized. She's a smaller lady.
Yeah.
And even as the smaller lady, she held her own and gave a wicked account of herself against the bigger girl in Nunes. I think if they was to catch weight at 130, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. But credential-wise, you can't deny it. Nunes is the best women's fighter of all time. She's beat everybody. But for me, the best female martial artist of all time is Bullet. She's amazing. Yeah, just watching how she throws, her balance, her technique, her movement, everything. And she's so deceivingly good on the ground. Every woman that's went on the ground with her has found out very quickly she's not just a striker. She's not. She's like...
She's one of those very rare...
You've got to watch some tape on her, Pad. Yeah. Honestly, you've got to watch some tape.
I've seen, like, don't get me wrong, I've seen some of her fights, but I can't, like, say I remember this one or that one.
I get ya. Yeah, so for me, Bullet's my favourite.
Would that be the main girl fight you would want to see, or would you want to see Jacek come back out of retirement and take on Zhang?
No.
To have that fight again?
No, it wouldn't be that fight again.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be. I think they'd both be too cautious. Look how they ended up in last fight.
Yeah.
It's crazy. What a crazy fight.
That wasn't.
Did you see Joanna's head?
Crazy fight.
Did anyone see that?
Mom, I showed my mum that fight last
week. Yeah,
last
this
week,
is
a couple
too.
Weeks ago.
Yeah.
Mate, she was screaming. She was like, "Oh my god!" She was like, "Oh, hands in the air and everything." Yeah. She's not like a massive fight fan or anything, but like that.
Best fight I've ever seen.
She understood what was going on in there. Do you know what I mean? I think it doesn't take. You just got to have a brain and you know what's going on. Like that was an amazing fight. I think that strawweight division it's getting deeper and deeper, and you've got like the four queens in there, and you've got all the rest of them. Do you know what I mean?
Who's the queens?
Well, I would call them the four queens. I would say Zhang. I would say Yen Jacek.
She's gone now, isn't she? She's retired.
Is she retired?
She retired. I'm sure she.
Zhang.
No, Jacek.
I don't reckon she's going anywhere.
No, you reckon it's just one of them?
Yeah, she's got the greatest champion's mindset.
Yeah, I'll tell you a mad story about her actually. Me and my mate Russell, we used to watch Bellator. This was before I was really like... I watched the main UFC stuff, but I just watched Bellator because it was free on TV back in the day.
Yeah.
I was watching that. And Jacek, we was watching her and she was ripping it up, yeah. And then... we was like, boy, she's going into UFC one and all this. We didn't realise we was watching old Bellators. We was watching them in order, but we was watching the repeats. So she was already in UFC.
Oh,
she was already
you can't wait to get she's already in there.
Yeah.
Can't wait for a first fight.
So it was like, imagine when you get Netflix and you can binge.
Oh,
like, I was
mate,
like,
you just went straight through it.
Yeah, I literally.
Oh, mate.
So it was nice to. That's one who I can say actually alright, I missed her in the UFC, but I watched, from the beginning sort of thing and got to know who she was before.
That's what I'm jealous about new people coming into it. They've got all this to binge.
Yeah.
The whole lot to the back.
Yeah,
and it's new to them and they're going to be like, oh, this is the greatest fight ever. But
there's so many fights.
Well, I watched UFC 1 the other week.
Loved it.
That is totally different. And that is literally the first one where he kicks him in the head where he's on the floor.
Head kicks.
It's
that
crazy.
Was a mad one, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's what we go back to. Look, it's the place of truth.
Yeah.
Like, you can't come in there with your wishy-washy stuff, or you can't come in there with your mouth, because your mouth doesn't talk.
It's evolved a lot, but it's really evolved well, hasn't it? It's it's got professional. Like I said, there was kicking in the head, and I was used to think, what you can elbow, you can do this, but you can't headbutt, or you can't do a 12-6 elbow, and I'm like,
I think that's crazy.
And but I do get it.
Because you're headbutting Pride or K1.
I kind of do get.
I think it was, wasn't it?
I feel like you could. You can.
Sure, I've seen someone do that.
Kick people in the head on the floor, so I'm guessing you can.
That's crazy. I think like the kicking on the floor, I think that's really bad. So I think it's good how they've cut all them bits out though, and they've just got like the
nice polished product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything in there that you would take out? Let's not say the rules. So.
I'll put something in.
What would you put in?
12-6 elbow.
Yeah.
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 Why
I don't think it does no damage at all. Not one bit. It's no different from. Why can you knee full force someone in the head, but you can't do a 12-6?
Yeah, but are you saying whateverism, or are you saying why wouldn't you just take the knee out of while they're on the floor? You can need someone on the floor, yeah.
I disagree with the 12 to 6 elbow.
The way I think about the 12 to 6 elbow is, if you can do an 11 to 5 elbow, why can't you do a 12 to 6? If you got someone shooting at a takedown, and you can throw that elbow in while their head's right at your waist, full force, 11 to 5. There's not much difference between that and that. There's really not. It's just a slight technical tweak, and you can talk that as well while you're going in. It's just a slight technical tweak. Like, it should be allowed. If you can head kick someone with your shin bone, which is like a bat once it's conditioned, I don't know. I think it's a bit silly. Something that I would probably take out, which I didn't think originally, but my mind has changed slowly. Is the oblique kick. I know it's a topic, ain't it, mate? The oblique kick.
Is this the kick in the back of the leg?
Even that,
it's almost like, you know, like you used to pass a ball.
Yeah.
But you come down on the knee.
Oh yeah, did Conor McGregor do that quite a bit? Like, was that one of his?
Well, John Jones is like
John Jones is
the market man for it. Yeah. He does that.
And that's just to take your leg the wrong way, basically.
Oh, but bend your knee the wrong way. You done like Sean O'Malley, basically.
Hyperextend the knee, and I think they're letting that pass until the day someone's knee collapses in like a deck chair.
Yeah.
And it's going to be brutal because it's going to be all over the news, not the news, it's going to be all over the internet, and it's going to give it a bad look to see.
We've seen kicks and people have felt like that. Anderson Silva, he felt like that.
Yeah.
Even Darren Till said on his last win, he said, I want to take out them the oblique kicks because they hurt. I know I was giving them, but I give them in the past, but I took one and I want them out.
I think they're nasty, malicious kicks.
He says he doesn't want them.
And I know we want it as accurate as possible to pure combat, but just one of those kicks and you could finish someone's career. If that breaks in a certain way and it takes so long to repair, it might not repair properly. Like all the tendons and ligaments that are around the knee, it's just like, it's dangerous. It is dangerous, but fighting's dangerous.
Yeah,
you got the argument for and against.
It's just sort of like we want to see fights, but we don't want to see injuries that can last. That's the truth, isn't it? Really. So I think that's what they're trying to prevent.
We don't want to sacrifice fighters for the sake of entertainment. Yeah. Oh, sorry, mate. A fight you was talking about? Any fights coming up? Tyron Woodley versus Colby Covington.
Oh, September, isn't it? September 19th.
How has it been announced?
Wait.
So we got an announcement.
Yeah. Sorry, it was announced. I seen it on the little MMA World today. So, your thoughts, Dave?
Oh wow, I'm looking forward to that.
You ready?
It's gonna be just.
Is it
a cardio fest? That's what it's gonna be, and I think.
Is it a little bit?
I think
late?
it's. I was just about to say that.
Sorry.
I think it's a bit late, but I think it should happen. Regardless, it should happen.
With the begrudging, with the back and forth.
Yeah, and the Twitter messages and the.
But it's not. No offense, it's not boxing late. It's not. I'm not throwing shade.
I feel like these are.
It's not Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather late. It's not 5 years late. It's a year late, if that. They're both still prime. Yes, Tyron Woodley's coming off of a skid, but they both want it. He's still in peak condition. I honestly, when I first heard about this a year ago, when Tyron was the champ, I didn't like this matchup for Tyron. I did not like it. He's got great right hand. He covers loads of distance. He can put people away. He's got knockout power. He's shown he's got grappling skills. But
Colby Covington's a different kind of animal.
Yeah, his volume isn't enough. His volume is an issue, and I don't think Covington's the guy that's gonna let him take any time off. I really don't. He's going to keep
too much pressure,
and he could get drowned. I'm not saying that Tyron couldn't starch him in the first round because it could happen, but for my money, if I'm betting,
is Tyron more of a person who would is the type to try and starch in the first second and then he's sort of wrestling starch trying?
Yeah, he's a weird one really because he tries to. He's not in a massive rush to get it finished. But because of that, he plays at a very low pace compared to other people.
Was that because he's used to fighting as a champion as well? Right?
I think that's just his style and his body type. Like he's shredded. He's part of the Yoel club.
Yeah.
He's shredded to the gills. He's got loads of
great genetic
muscle mass. He's type 2.
The club's
he's
getting a bit big now, isn't it? The club's big, isn't it?
The club's big.
Imagine you walked into that club. Are you walking to that club? Are you intimidated?
Nah, I'm alright.
Yeah, you're walking. You're right, lads.
I can run fast, guys. Nah, I'm only messing. But yeah, it was just Woodley and Yoel, and now they're just coming out. These specimens are coming out of the woodwork. Look at Ngannou. Like, Jesus Christ.
He used to dig.
Yeah, a sand digger. It's crazy.
He used to dig sand.
Yeah.
That's how he got his power.
Mine.
That's mad.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't like that matchup. I don't like that matchup. I'm a bit worried for Woodley in that one.
Takes me to deep.
I'm a Woodley fan of it. I like Woodley. Yeah.
Woodley's alright.
He's okay. He's got just a repetitive game plan.
I like
Usman figured him out.
I love what. Don't get me wrong. I don't really like Colby, but I love what he's done. You saw he was getting cut. He knew he was getting cut. He switched up who he was. He changed. He just started pretending to be this person and started wearing cheap. Is it exactly?
And you even said pretending to be this person.
Yeah. Like that's
so everyone thinks Colby Covington goes around acting like
you think he's all cheesy and stuff. Yeah, that is him. Just doing that to get.
Yeah, apparently he's just like a super nice guy.
Yeah,
that's crazy, isn't it? At the start I was really annoyed with him. I was annoyed with him. He irritated me. I was like, why are you causing this drama? Why are you throwing boomerangs at, you had the thing where Fabricio were doing through the boomerang it or something. Like, why are you going around talking smack to heavyweights? Like, you're not even a heavyweight. Why are you doing this? You're just being an idiot. And then I realised I understand what he's doing and what he's playing, and now I just find him really amusing. And I know it sounds bad not to get into politics, but I feel that way about Trump. Everyone hates Trump so much and this and that, and he's a racist and this. I can't help but find him amusing now. Do you know what I mean? I don't take offence to him. And that's how I feel about Colby. And Henry Cejudo as well. The same way. At the start I was like, oh, I can't watch him. He's cringy. But now I'm like, he's doing his thing. Just let him be him. Like, these styles.
And but it's not always let him be him. It's always not always him. It's always sometimes I'm just putting this on just because I know you then buying my products. I'm still fighting exactly the same, but you weren't buying my products now. I'm fighting exactly. I've just rebranded.
Yeah.
Literally, that is what Colby done, isn't it?
And I like that now. I can understand it and appreciate what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? It gives us different things to look at. It's not all the same person. And while I do like the respect for martial artists, I also like the smack talker. I love Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, I didn't know much about
the original trash talk.
You got me onto him, didn't you?
I'm a massive fan of Chael Sonnen. Massive.
And then I've watched some, I've watched some of his podcasts. I've watched, and then I've watched some of his fights. And he's fought recently, and he still fought as an older guy. And I was like,
his last fight was against Emelianenko. He got knocked out.
Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago though, was it? And I was like, fair play. I thought it was literally a finish and retired. And I thought, what you said to me before, he was like the old school Conor McGregor, and the way he spoke and I was like, So
and he was a great fighter.
Yeah,
he was one of those guys that got there, but didn't quite get the championship. I think he was always a finalist.
I think he's the best fighter to not got the gold.
Yeah,
I think he's there with.
Makes sense.
Well.
Yeah.
He's there with you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like completely, definitely the championship.
Could it have been the time
he was dominating Jones for a couple of rounds, wasn't he? Didn't he dominate? Who did he dominate for a couple of rounds and they choked him out? Anderson Silva.
Yeah, he was dominating. 4.5 rounds.
Dominating.
The last 30 seconds of the last round, he beat the crap out of him for 21 minutes and then got.
He won every round and got choked.
He's the guy.
And it's such a sad story for him, but you can't help but love him.
Yeah, he's good, and he does break down fights. He does break down stuff.
He's so intelligent with fights.
Sometimes I believe he asks questions as well. Like, he already knows what he's asking, and then he breaks it all down, and you're like, he's knowledgeable.
Yeah, I just like listening to him talk. I don't know what it is about it. Certain people you just like,
do you know what it is? I think there's no ill manner. There's no ill manner in there. He's literally just wants to see. He just likes fighting. He likes it to be done properly. And he's been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
He's so honest as well about
and he doesn't hide from his drug use,
and fears and all those things that go through his head. I love his honesty because he's away from the game now. He doesn't have to hold them cards close to his chest, so he's sharing it so all of us as fans and listeners can see.
And so fighters don't make the same mistakes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they can learn from him. Definitely, Dave. Yeah, for sure, mate.
I'm just gonna ask you, sir, what's next for the We've got the Costa. Is that the next one? 253. We've got. Is that on Costa?
Fight Island around, but this is the next.
Yeah, it's the next big
numbered,
one.
Yeah, UFC.
Yeah, so obviously because it's after 252, but
yeah.
I was just seeing if that is the actual next.
Who else is on that card?
Yeah, that's what I'm just looking now to see.
I don't think the card's done yet.
To be determined. Yeah, there we go. But when you pull it in, Paulo Costa and Adesanya's coming up.
They've got to be next to fight. It's been too long.
Yeah, I can't believe he's taken the path that he's taken as champ, especially as like, I don't want to say stature's everything, but like he's taken on these giant monsters, these feared guys, and like just Yoel and.
But doesn't he have to because they're at the rank? Or
he could have probably picked someone else. Well, not necessarily picked because he's there, but I don't even think Yoel was really surging for that spot. I'm sure it was Jero Cannonier. He could have maybe fought Till. He could have maybe had a rematch with Robert Whittaker. Like these guys that were in the mix of the top 5 that he could have picked or said, oh, maybe I should fight him, maybe I should. He didn't even like pause. He just called him out like, wow. Ooh. And then got the win as well. So
that's crazy. A scary fight that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So UFC 253. That's what it's saying. Adesanya Costa.
I think they've got the main event. They just need undercard, don't know the rest.
Yeah. So we'll definitely do what we'll do for that one in fight week. We'll put our podcast out in fight week at the beginning of fight week, so then we'll leave that to so you can get that simmered before. And then we'll do our one after it as well.
I'm up for that.
But we'll 100% we'll be making more now, won't we?
I'm just enjoying.
I'm down. I like speaking about MMA. Anything to do with that.
Just happy days. And we got anything else to add?
No,
not really.
Josh Emmett, world champ, 145, 2021.
Max Holloway never lost that fight.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So right then, guys. Thank you very much. So that's Padcast in association with TC Cars. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. If you've got anything you want us to say, any comments, anything like that, you got any questions, if you want to promote your stuff on our podcast, you want us to mention your products, by all means get in touch with us. We're here.
That could be great. Dropping comments in the questions in the comments section. That'd be cool to answer.
Q&A. Just let us know what you think.
While we do the recaps and the reviews and stuff. I reckon that'd be pretty cool. Bit of interaction with you guys.
We could actually, we'll get the names, read them out, say who it's from. So ask that, guys. Yeah. Happy days, So, that's it. Have a nice day, guys. Take care.
Enjoy. See you later. Take care, guys.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like down below for all the latest boxing news.